The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Thank you for joining us here at FRCMedia. I'm Keith Tebow. We are getting ever closer to the November 4th municipal election here in Fall River, and we're speaking to as many candidates as possible between now and Election Day. Today we're going to focus on the Fall River School Committee. There are 10 candidates on the ballot, and we're pleased to be joined by one of the incumbents looking to get another term in office. I'm joined by School Committee member Tom Khoury. Tom, thanks for joining me. How are you?
Good afternoon, Keith. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Let me just ask, you're looking for another term in office.
Yes.
The first question that always comes to mind is, why do you want another term?
I feel a great sense of mission, Keith. I've always been invested as a career educator, invested into the growth and development of education and how it affects us here in Fall River, our municipality. I'm really proud of where we've come. We have a brand new high school. We have several beautiful school buildings, and they're building a new diamond. We're becoming a great hub, and for people who contemplate maybe wanting to consider living here, I think we're presenting a very strong suit as far as their opinions on education are concerned.
Yeah. There's been so much happening in your time. And how many terms have you been? I know 2 years ago you decided not to run. You came back last election cycle.
Yeah, I'm in my third term now.
All right. So you're hoping for a fourth term.
Yes.
Another 2-year term. What is the maybe one or two topics that you really want to focus on if reelected coming up in November?
If reelected, I'll go back to my first term when we fought and advocated so loudly for the Student Opportunity Act. And if you notice, so many school board members and school administrators have always referenced how important the student opportunity monies have been for us, because it affects gateway cities like Fall River and the poorest cities in our Commonwealth. So the state legislature set aside a huge fund to help shore up our resources so that we could constantly attack the problems that affect gateway cities, English language learners, special needs, and all the resources needed to encompass those services.
There are some people that say, the school department has gotten a lot of money. Money doesn't necessarily equate to outcomes. How efficient do you feel the superintendents that you've worked under, mainly Superintendent Ponce and now Superintendent Khoury, have spent that money? Has it been efficient? Has it produced any results that you can see?
I'm incredibly, first of all, I have a sense of loyalty to these people because I've known them for so long. That doesn't mean that we don't disagree at times on how things get done, because we do. We have that freedom of thought. But our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Kevin Almeida, has been with us in that position since 2015. And each year we come out with a balanced budget. Each year, enough said. He's doing an unbelievable job at using whatever funding is coming our way, and for us, spending it in the right areas.
Again, some people may say that, okay, that's a lot of money, but we're not seeing necessarily the results. Fall River, for a long time, as other gateway cities, they tend to be toward the bottom of the list in terms of the 351 school districts, if there are more. I apologize, but there's 351 cities and towns. In terms of educational attainment, test scores, and the like. What can be done to make those numbers better?
I'll give you an analogy. When I broke into counseling at around the year 2000, we only had 20 clinical adjustment counselors servicing the entire district. So we used to have to move around and be itinerant, go from school to school. You work at this school a few hours and you go to that school for a few hours. Right now, we have anywhere between 3, 4, and 5 per building. And we also have support staff called Social Emotional Liaisons, SEL liaisons. We have shored up every school building with a ton of those liaisons. Now, all of this represents, money spent. So I consider it money well spent, because what they do is they're keeping kids emotionally together so that the kids can face what they need to academically in a classroom day to day, given whatever their lives may present to them. And we know in Fall River that there's so much neediness. We have a tough economic demographic in Fall River, and that demographic poses lots of different issues, and those are the issues that we're confronted with every day in our schools.
And you mentioned how the loyalty of those who work here in the district. And
Yes.
you mentioned it, prior to this, you recorded your 3-minute Meet the Candidate statement, which those of you who are watching will be able to see it in the coming days between now and election time. That, the people who are from here that now work here, they understand it more than those that, maybe not hailed from here, but they understand the dynamics and the difficulties and the challenges here within this district.
Keith, that's probably the main reason for me wanting to get back in the race this year. Mm-hmm. That sense of mission that I just spoke about comes from knowing these people not only as past students. Superintendent Khoury was a 91 or 92 grad from Durfee when I was still teaching social studies there. So I remember her as a student. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Amy Bronhard was the president of student government at Durfee when I was a counselor there. And she was the ever-ready battery then. She's still the ever-ready battery now, constantly searching for new methods and new strategies to drive social emotional learning forward and to ascertain so much of the funding that's available for those areas in our school department. People like this, even my dear friend, former principal at Durfee High School, Matt Damaris, who's currently the director of social studies for the entire school district, is just a brilliant mind that decided to stay working here, living here, and giving here. That's the sense of mission I'm talking about. It's a collaborative.
And a lot has been made, I guess, in the past few years, depending on what school and what town or city you live in. The enrollment number has actually gone down. Fall River, we've gone up. We're over 11,000
Yes.
this school year. And that says something in and of itself as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, the enrollment numbers now are, when I ran for my first term in school committee, we were somewhere in the high 9,000s. We're now at 11,089 students enrolled this school year.
Yeah. What does that say, do you think, in terms of the quality or what people are hearing out there? I mean, obviously the population has gone up as well, so you're gonna have that. But it appears like Fall River is on a different level based on maybe even some of the gateway cities within our region of Brockton and New Bedford.
Well, Fall River is on the move, and we do support lots of subsidized housing here, so that always brings in a certain population that seems to be more transient than others. However, that being said, Fall River is on the move. It's growing and developing. It's going to start to attract even more. So right now, this is an adjustment period with a higher enrollment number. We're facing, some class size issues, and we're facing some but we addressed that very topic in the last school meeting, and the staff has a really good handle on it. Even though some classes are high, I remember when I was teaching, I had 28, 29 kids in my classroom as well. So it's not like it's a new issue. It's just an issue that we always have to keep an eye on and deal with.
Is there maybe a need to, sort of work with the superintendent? Again, the school committee is a policy board, not they don't play any role in terms of the
Right.
administration or the day-to-day of what happens
Exactly.
with,
We're
with
oversight.
with the school department. But are there opportunities there for maybe the school committee to say, well, maybe we need to do something about the class sizes. Maybe we do need, more third grade classes or whatever needs to be. But
So-
you've also got an issue, obviously, with where to put those classes physically.
Yeah, so as far as like more third grade classes or more this or more that falls into the realm of the assistant superintendent for instruction. That's what he's charged with to keep an eye on. And as it's presented to us, especially at the subcommittee level, we always broach these issues in the subcommittee first before they're brought to the full committee, in a regular meeting. That being said, there may be a need to, look at some space down the road. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means refurbishing one of our older buildings or if it means actually building a new one. I don't want to say that now because we got our hands full with taxes, and supporting the new Durfee and the new Diamond. And so we'll look for ways to alleviate that situation as best could be. But I'll let you know it's always on our radar, always.
Yeah. This is the second school year that at Durfee and now in the middle schools, the no cell phone policy.
Yes.
It appears to have worked. The students appear to have been more engaged at Durfee over the past year. And, that leads to other issues. There's been a lot of talk about with students with their phones. There's more incidents of bullying because it's easier to just text someone or on social media bully someone. Are you seeing that trend as well, that the no cell phone policy has actually made an impact?
Okay, so I'm not inside the school buildings all the time. That being said, the pouch strategy is the brainchild of Dr. Bronhard. And yes, it got really good reviews in the first year. Is it perfect? No. There's an issue just like when we started using computers on a regular basis. You get some that break, you have to replace them. So now it's a new issue of spending. So if a pouch is gone, well, we have to replace it. Yeah. So it's an adjustment period. We're learning, but no, I think we got a very good grade after the first year on it, and of course we're going to stay with that policy. And I look forward to us refining the whole procedure as we roll down the road.
I think it's been safe to say that those people who watch city council meetings have seen a little more strife among members in terms of not only the length of meetings being long, but there's accusations from some members toward others and toward the mayor and the like. How do you view that? It can't be a healthy atmosphere.
You're speaking in regard to the school board meetings?
School board, yes, school meetings.
Yeah, as far as the school board meetings are concerned, I've been very much disappointed in the temperament of the school board meetings this past year. And it's not working with each other, but it's working against each other because it just doesn't build the proper camaraderie we need to drive our policy forward. We're always getting hung up. I got you here, I got you there. You're not communicating with me here. It's not so. Believe me when I tell you, Keith, I have nothing to gain by telling the truth except that it shouldn't be that way. We should be working trustfully with the superintendent and know that she brings so much experience to her position, and I will personally laud her in her relationship with the Department of Education, DESE. She has such a staunch relationship with them because she was the assistant superintendent for instruction for many years, and she developed an incredibly close relationship with DESE through those years, and that can only bode well for our school district here in Fall River. We have DESE's support, and they're here at a moment's notice if we need it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you feel that that the tenor of the meetings led to 3 members not seeking election this year?
Absolutely. There was a sense of persecution for each of them, and some of the persecution is just wholly unfair. And I sit there and I scratch my head when some of the discussion is going down during the meetings in regard to these issues. They've gone after me. I was personally investigated, and that case was just, thrown out because it didn't carry any weight. They've gone after the vice chairwoman, and I'm so sorry not to see her running again, because when it comes to issues of kids, She is one of the glowing candles in this community. Is on her work with children for the past 30-something years with the Boys and Girls Club, and now with People Incorporated. She's brilliant when it comes to working with kids, but she's been persecuted. That's not fair.
You're speaking about Mimi Larrabee,
I am.
who's the vice chair right now.
I'm talking about Mimi Larrabee, yes.
Yeah.
She is the most wonderful, committed, heartfelt person. I loved working with her. I'm going to miss her terribly.
What's your relationship with Mayor Coogan, and how would you envision working with him going forward, or Mr. Amaral if he's elected?
Okay, so as far as Mayor Coogan, I'm not afraid to let you know we went to high school together. We did a lot of hanging out together through the years. We saw Led Zeppelin together in 1974, if that gives you any sense of history. He's an old dear friend. That doesn't mean we've gone through some tumultuous periods in our relationship where we never saw eye to eye, and I'm not a rubber stamp for him or anybody else. But through my friendship with him, I've become loyal to his mission, and he's a career educator. He has a deep inside view on how education should move forward, driving our system. We wouldn't have a New Durfee High School if it weren't for Paul Coogan. He was the main motivator that drove that ship to get us a new high school, and the people of Fall River voted for it. So I see that as a crowning achievement in his career. So no, I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm a loyal supporter of Mayor Coogan. That doesn't mean that I'm a rubber stamp, but a good supporter. As far as Mr. Amaral is concerned, I don't know him personally, and I'll wait to see if he becomes mayor.
All right. Tom Khoury, looking for a re-election. I appreciate your time. All the best. I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Keith, I appreciate being here very much. Thanks again.
All right. Take care. And thank you for joining us here in FRC Media, and please make a point to vote on Tuesday, November 4th.